Stephanie.
Hi. Hey, y'all.
All right, let me get this thing cranking in the crew. Oh, that's exciting. I haven't seen y'all in so long.
This hair. Hold on. Okay, I believe we're live in the group with this hair.
Welcome, everybody. I'm Wanda. It's so good to see your faces again. Let me just make sure. There were some people I couldn't admit last minute. First of all, it's 8 o'clock in the Lord's morning. My eyes all red. So on Jitsi, we have D. Carey, our hostess, our guestess, our co-hostess. We got Stephanie, we got Adelia, and we have a mystery person. How are y'all?
Good.
I'm good.
I'm great now.
Good.
Okay. Adelia, tell us what you got going on. Mexico.
I'm in Mexico. I am settled. I am no longer homeless. And I'm chilling.
Where
in Mexico City. So in that sense, life is good. You know, I can't complain.
I was supposed to have a layover there. I was quite disappointed. It was going to be like that perfect layover, like 6 a.m. arrival, and then leave at like 8 p.m. And I got delayed.
Okay.
It was trash. Quite disappointed.
Yeah, I was going to say, because you need, in normal times, you need a significant layover here because traffic is ridiculous.
Oh, didn't know that.
Oh yeah. It's what, 24 million people, give or take. So yeah, traffic is, and that's how I knew things were off. Because when I got here at the end of July, there was no traffic.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
And there is never no traffic. It has picked up. In the last month, things have picked up. It's still not at pre-COVID numbers. But there is at least some traffic now, but not like it used to be.
Stephanie, what's going on with you these days?
I'm chilling, still in Delaware.
Exotic to Delaware.
Exotic over to Delaware. There's not a whole lot going on around here, and I don't have any plans to go anywhere for quite a while, for any time, except for maybe December. So I'm just chilling, hanging out.
You're not just hanging out. You have an entire conference.
Yeah, so I do have a conference coming up. Today's my day off, so I don't have to. Well. Supposed to be my day off.
All right. Well, I won't make it a day on. Cool. So let's get this conversation kicked off. So D. Carey, you have decided to not be in America no more. Tell us what your process is like.
Well, it's at this point very loose. There's no exact plan, and I don't know what each of you have set up for yourselves in terms of like once you left, if you plan to come back. But I absolutely plan to come back, mostly because of my family. My parents are, getting up there, and my grandparents as well are aging, and I don't want to not be here to enjoy them while I have them, but I know that I won't truly I don't think I would necessarily feel fulfilled in my adult life had I not had the experience of living someplace other than here, just because of how much I've been able to enjoy my time abroad. It just kind of feels like it would be one of those big regrets in terms of Because at this point, I just love the freedom of life. Just like, I don't have to cook for nobody. Like, I cooked today because I felt like it. I like prepped fruit. That was a big deal for me. You know what I mean? Like, I just washed all the fruit I had. And it's just because I live a life of kind of leisure. I mean, not in the sense, I don't want to say it in a careless way, but in a very self-fulfilling way where I kind of move at my own pace and do things.
You can be carefree.
Absolutely. I absolutely can. I can be the little hippie in my mind that I am, where I can wake up in the morning and just sit and look out the window with the dog. Little things like that I really appreciate. When I don't feel like doing anything, I don't have to do anything. Like, I know one of my lessons from work, because I have a 2 weeks on and a 2 week off schedule at this point with my job. And when my bosses call to do the follow-up the Friday before we go in, they always call and, you know, confirm times, you know, you're coming in, blah, blah, blah. And this boss in particular, I'm cool with. So it was like 3 o'clock when he called, and he was like, so what you doing? I'm like, drinking champagne. I'm like, but it's 3 o'clock. I said, and I'm grown. But I ain't got no kids to cook for. I ain't got nothing to be worried about with me and the dog, bruh. You at work, I'm not. So I enjoy this, and I know that future me would appreciate having family and kids and a partner, and I know that part of that would be to live outside of my normal, like out of my comfort zone, and I ultimately don't see that, and I don't see anywhere else in the United States as having any appeal to me. A lot of my friends have moved to Atlanta. A lot of my friends have actually moved to Texas also. Uninterested at all. Only place I could consider would be Atlanta, but that's because I have family that's there. So, I mean, cousins over everything. You know what I mean? I would love to be able to see my cousins more often, but other than that, I'm good on the States. I'm good on the States.
I think that's a real concern for some folks, the Asian parents thing. Or like family in general. Some people are like, I can't travel. I have family.
And I'm really, really close to my dad. Like, I remember one time in my probably mid-20s, I had gone to DC for a, what do you call it, like bachelorette weekend. And we had so much fun. And I'm like, yo, DC is popping. I could really see a life and find me a little political booth someplace. And oh my God, it'd be so great. And when I tell you this dude did not talk to me for like 3-4 days, he's like, we're not doing that. We're not going nowhere. Stop. I'm like, but are you, like, he was really upset at the idea of me leaving. And that really, like, don't be sad, Dad, I'm here. And I don't want to leave my dad, because I know that I would regret not being able to spend, you know, as much time as possible. So in my mind, it would be a year, and then I would be back. Because 6 months kind of just still feels like a long vacation. But I, in hindsight, regret not doing like study abroad in college, or doing the, you know, the right after college, doing like a gap year and spending time. But the idea of travel just never resonated with me when I was younger. So I'm not old by any stretch of the imagination. Like, I'm only 35, but in terms of like being established in life, it's like, not that I'm at the middle end of my life, but it's like I know I'm towards the end of my time with that family. You know what I mean? It's just like I don't have another 30 years per se with my mom and dad. I absolutely don't have another 30 years with my grandparents. So it's, you know, that's just a constant. And I just lost my grandpa in October. So it's like a constant, all right, like that's the time clock kind of started with the whole, all right, I ain't gonna give y'all no grand, you know, we ain't gonna have no grands in no time soon. So I at least want to be here for y'all to, and then the dog, like I'd have to figure out bringing her with me also. So that's what I'm at. Be a temporary. You have your dog with you?
Yeah, she's out on the balcony right now. That's her new favorite spot, to go and look down on the people on the street. But yeah, no, she's here. She was in China and she was in Honduras.
What kind of dog do you have? Like, do you have a small breed? Is it easy to travel, or do you have a larger? Okay.
No, it's a miniature schnauzer. Because personally, I would not put an animal in cargo. So if I had had a bigger dog, I would have rehomed her or something. But because she's small, she just goes under the seat in front of me.
Now, does she travel well?
Very well. Her disposition is incredible. So really, if the travel bag is on the floor, she hops in it and she's like, okay, where are we going? She's quiet. She falls asleep. Because on the flight from Shanghai to San Francisco, the lady next to me, Chinese lady, and they generally don't like animals, she was just impressed with how quiet she was. And a guy on the row over, he had a puppy, and that puppy did not shut up the entire flight. And my dog would go to sleep, she'd wake up, kind of look around a little bit, and then she'd go back to sleep.
I wish.
So no, she travels very well.
That's a benefit then. I would definitely have to like give her baby Benadryl and like kind of, I don't know. She's not a she don't even do car trips well at all. I do. You're so perfect. I promise. That's just not her. It's not part of her ministry.
I just wanted to take one moment to appreciate the background you got rocking. Philly, your plant mom. You just out here, plant mom in it. Got your little candle. You know what I'm saying? Setting the mood.
little like home flex. I love it here. I just adulted, ordered me a new couch, and hope that should be here. And people really wait like months for furniture. Like, miss what? 8 weeks? No, thank you. I'm good. I'll ask the internet. So I ended up getting my nana thought I was bugging. I ordered a pink velvet couch, and she was like, "You pink? I'm like, yeah, girl, I got pink couch money. We getting a pink couch." So yeah. And I'm not. And another thing is, I'm not really ready to let go of those kind of comforts in terms of leaving. So I can feel part of the shift happening in terms of like just material things, whereas I'm not as attached, but just the things in my home that make me comfortable, like all of my plants, and just that I've been here so long. I'm working on that transition of it just not being that important to me. So I know I'm not ready to pick up and go tomorrow, but at the same time, I wish I could pick up and go tomorrow so I could like start the clock, or start the clock now and kind of make it happen. And my mama just retired, so I feel like they could come visit me whenever the hell they feel like it. You know what I mean? So this is a good time like to do it, but at the same time, it's like, but then who's going to be there for my grandparents? You know, my dad is like that nephew. My dad is that kid that he's there for all the aunties. He's there for all the older people, like the one that runs around and shovels everybody's snow or makes sure that it gets shoveled and does grocery runs, picks you up from the hospital and all that jazz. So I know he would have a hard time detaching himself for like a long vacation, depending on where I decide to go.
So like, have you considered like 6 months here and there, or 3 months here and there? It's like you go somewhere for a while and then come back and then you leave again.
Yes. Especially considering the visa situation. Like I know with some places, as long as you leave, then you don't necessarily, like if you stay for the extended amount of time. And I learned this just from listening to you ladies, honestly. When you go different places, like your visa, oh hello puppy, I see you. Sorry, I'm that dog person on the street that's not supposed to be your dog, not you. But I know that some places allow you to stay for that certain window, and I feel like that would be my opportunity to come back home. But I then also worry that if I come back home, that I would be kind of like not stuck home, but I would be more inclined to stay, depending on whatever family dynamic is happening, where it's just like, okay, well, I have the flexibility now, I'll do it. Or okay, like my grandma's getting to the point where she doesn't need help, but She lives 5 blocks away. I could legit walk. So little things like taking her to the doctor's office, or when she just gets lonely, it's just like, all right, I'm here. I'll pop over. Just call me. So little things like that is what holds me back. But at the same time, I don't want another 20 years to pass and then I live with those regrets that, like, they're not going to live with my regrets. Only I'll live with those regrets. And that kind of, that worries me a little bit.
So you feel like if you get out for like a year straight, that'll like quench something?
Yeah, I think, I mean, and it's just an arbitrary number in my mind.
I mean, it's fine. Like it's working, right? A working plan. You have the
yes
to change it as you see fit. You can leave for a week and come back. That's nobody's business but your own.
It's just the flexibility, and that's kind of where I'm at now with it's just working on establishing a I don't know what the word I'm looking for, like a system, but not like a system. I need to be able to make money. I need to be digitally employed, if you will. And I don't see for myself or the plan that I have in mind, right? The ideal that I have is being able, because I have a podcast. So I would ultimately would love to be able to have travel be my business. But I want it to not shift, but add, if you will, more wellness to it and speaking engagements. And so I'm working on learning more about the stuff that I don't know anything about, so that I actually have, in terms of speaking from a place of understanding versus a place of curiosity, which I don't think there's anything wrong with, but I don't want to just have one side of it, because I feel like you can you can continuously be curious. Like, that ain't going anywhere. Even if you know about something, you be curious more. But ultimately, I would want to know more so that I have a wider breadth of conversation and discourse to have on the topic.
I think a lot of us have been through that process. It's like you start off with something, there's other stuff you're interested in, and I mean, realistically speaking, you got to learn a whole lot of stuff along the way anyway.
Right.
It's like optimizing your skills. We've all been novice at like Facebook pages or groups, Instagram posts, like whatever that looks like. We've all been very new and had to like pick up skills, take courses, what have you along the way. But it's good to like have an idea about where you want that to go. What about like what skills have you had to learn along the way as you started to you started with an idea and maybe even that idea totally transformed, like anybody, like any of you.
So, for me, it's been all the things, just because it's just me. And like, I don't necessarily have a budget. It's just whatever my full time brings in. And being broke I don't like saying broke, but being fund deficient, if you will, has given me the drive to figure a lot of shit out. The internet has a wealth of information, and at this stage, I'm like in the doing the work mode, where a lot of things that were ideas now, I'm finding that, like, I'm a great idea person. I can come up with a million different ideas. I've just always lacked on execution. So I've got notebooks and notebooks all around the place with a million different jots and what am I doing with it? You know what I mean? And that's where I'm at now, at that space where I'm seeing that I'm in my own way, and unless I do the work, then it's not going to happen. Because so far, everything has just been a hobby. Everything has just been, oh, it's fun, so you do it. But that's not going to result me in sorry, that hurt me too. That's not going to result in it's not going to give me the result that I want. Hi, new face.
What about y'all? Have y'all had to like hone your vision along the way, pick up skills along the way? What's that been like for y'all?
I actually want to give some. I want to say something to what she's been talking about. She's thinking too hard. Thinking way too hard.
That's my skill set.
It's like, are you a Virgo? Like you're thinking hard about all this stuff, and there's going to be a perfect moment to execute what you're trying to do. It's just that is the guarantee. There is no perfect time. And so I just a little bit about myself. I've worked for myself online for the last 6 years, and basically I worked at a university, and then one day I was like, I'm over this. I'm done. This is not how my life should be. You know what? I don't know what that noise is, but I'm gonna. This is not how I want my life to be. So I quit. And what I would say is that wasn't like, I wouldn't recommend what I did for anyone else necessarily, but what I've learned is action will always get you further than like all the plans in the world. So because I knew I had to make my mortgage, because I own a property that I did not want to sell, I had to make money. I wanted to eat, so I had to make money. Like I had to make it work. And so I think that as you move forward in your vision for your business, because you didn't really, you kind of talked about vaguely what it might be. I think that's the key right there, is really getting clear on what the business is going to be, right? Because I actually was left not having an idea what that would be. Like I don't know if it's women who want to travel abroad, but they have all these family obligations. How can you do both so that you're happy and you're managing them, which I feel like would be a good area, because you talked a lot about your family and how that affects how free you feel to move around. So like for me, I'm older than you, and I very much understand that, but I also I took the leap because I had to also do what was right for me. So I've lived abroad many times, but in this point in my life, the way that I'm doing things is a little different. I wanted to work online for myself. That was the number one thing, and I got that going. It takes longer than you would expect. That's the thing. So if you think as hard as you are, it's really going to delay any kind of success or any kind of results that you're trying to get to, because it's just going to take longer than you think to make consistent good income. Like the income I make now is great, but it took like years to get to this point. It just did. And now I have older relatives, things like that. I actually, because I work online, I'm in this weird space, so I'm not a nomad. I actually love the state I live in. I love my lifestyle. Everything you describe is how I live. I wake up when I feel like it, usually still early. I go hiking. I work on my stuff. I do my thing, right? But right now, I know I need a break from America. I need a break like you would not believe. So I'm planning 6 months away, and that is going to have to be January 2022, because I don't believe that anyone's going to get the corona. Like I feel like we'll be at the tail end of it by then, and we can have other people take the vaccine, and we can see how it goes on them before I take it. So anyway, that's my timing. And but I also understand that setting that timing, things could change between now and then. Right? So I could plan spring 2022, and then I could meet my boo, and he's going to be like, babe, I don't like right now I'm in a season with my work where I need to be here. So that's why I'm saying, like, you can plan all you want, but you never know. So sometimes it could be, that you do a short trip. Like when I worked my old job, I went on study abroad for 3 weeks at a time because I had a lot of vacation time. So I would go for 3 weeks, and it still satisfied me. It really did. And so you might be surprised by some of the different options that you could utilize as you move forward.
Michelle, make sure to introduce yourself.
Oh, Stephanie. I run a website and podcast. I do two things. I run a website and podcast called Michelle's Money Hungry. So I'm actually known in the personal finance space. And then I also run a website and podcast about Colorado called Square State.
I know Michelle from online, but I didn't recognize her.
That's because I
voice
all the time.
Thank you, Michelle.
So this is not working. So I'll look different the next time you see me.
I mean, we're black women. We're familiar.
Yeah. So there you go.
It's hilarious for that podcast. Speaking of the most.
Hey, I made my money, but I have to tell the truth too. So I love doing the podcast. It's been a lot of fun.
So it's Michelle is Money Hungry?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Find you. I also don't know money well, so I'll listen again.
I actually interviewed Stephanie. It was a great episode, so you got to start with that one. Stephanie, you're on mute.
Okay, and Michelle also helps people write their book. So if you have a book idea, she has info to help you get that down on paper. Or like in the computer.
I have support.
Yes. Well, I like your thumbnail. This is cute.
I think that's all super good advice. But I mean, like, realistically, you're just gonna have to find your own way. Like, all of us have. That's the thing about it. Like, people can share their experience. At least you know that it's going to be messy, essentially. Mm-hmm. But it's gonna be yours.
But it's interesting that you picked up on the overthinking part, because that is like point 2 on my ministry list. I'm very, very good for just staying in my head. And, all right, well, if this goes this way, this is, I do, that's my thing. So, yeah, thank you for that.
But also, like, I just don't think you're going to overthink to the point where you don't leave. Like, you're going to think about it. Like, that's what you do. But I know you're going to leave. For as long as you need to. So tell us what locations you're thinking about.
Spanish-speaking country. Absolutely would be a Spanish-speaking country. I don't necessarily think or perceive myself going someplace that I've already been. Mexico is attractive because it is very close, so my family would be able to get there, or I could get back home should I need to, and also just because Spanish is the language I'm most comfortable being around other than English. I don't speak Spanish, but I can navigate through Spanish much better than I can navigate through Arabic. Also, I feel like there tends to be a good amount of Black culture or other, like, just Black Spanish people in a lot of Spanish-speaking countries that I would also feel comfortable not standing out as much. I also just don't want to go someplace where I would stand out as much, just because I really prefer that wallflower role where I could just kind of, you don't see me, I see you. People watch and not be noticed. That's my comfort zone. So absolutely Spanish speaking, and where I would be able to at some point find a Black community, not necessarily Black American community, but just other Black people of whatever ethnicity they are when I get there. Or is it nationality? I think it's nationality, because ethnicity would make you Black, right? I know there's a difference, but I'm asking what it is right now.
Hey, sweetheart, I'm the one with my hand up.
Yeah.
Can I suggest Panama? Can I suggest Panama? Yeah, I'm living in Panama now.
How do you like it? What's your name? Welcome. Hi.
I'm Joyce Barr, and I'm part of the group. And thank you. Hi. And so I have a tour that I'm getting ready to start soon as the airlines get back on track with the international travel. It's going to be called Blast Tours, and it's a tour of Panama, all the great destinations in Panama. And it is Spanish speaking. It's definitely a lot of Black and brown people, a lot of various climates and locations that would probably attract you. So, and it's close to the U.S. 4 to 6 hour flight.
Yeah.
Oh, that's like better than Cali close. And a lot of my friends are Panamanians, so it ain't like it would be that culturally different from people I'm used to being around.
What's the black people? What are the black people like there, Joyce? Like, is there a black Panama group? Y'all get down.
Oh, Wanda, yes. I mean, the Panama really has a diverse culture, Black and brown people. Black Panamanians live in the city and in outskirts, but it's just a rainbow of colors. And then everyone, fair-skinned Blacks, red bone Blacks, handsome Blacks, and then they're all speaking Spanish, So it's like, wow, I wish I could speak Spanish like they would, because I would be cougaring up, seriously.
So they got handsome ones there? They ain't got the ugly ones?
Oh, no, girl. I was around so many handsome Panamanians today, honey. I was just drooling. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think I've ever met a non-Black Panamanian.
Sorry, what you say?
Write that down.
I don't think I've ever met a non-Black Panamanian. I've only met Black ones.
No, I mean very fair. You come across some very fair-skinned Panamanians. Yes, you do. It's a very rainbow spectrum of diverse cultures here. Mm-hmm.
Stephanie got a whole. You have like two of them. Where black women should. What countries black women should go to find a mate.
Yeah, but most of the people who contributed had more negative experiences than positive. Adelia, I think, was one of the few people who had like positive experiences, and hers were in the Spanish-speaking countries, right? Was it Honduras and Mexico?
Yeah, I did better in Mexico. Not so great in Honduras. But I mean, look, I had boy offer to make me pizza and pasta in the middle